Good morning, YouTube. Tired Metalhead Weatherman here. I hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be a quick one, unlike yesterday, but big changes. Enhanced risk has now been issued. Similar corridor to what I was expecting, just a little bit further off to the east. I think this sector still could end up seeing it. There could be a potential extension here because this sector right here is very favorable for supercells. But we'll have to see how that all plays out. But in the meantime, we'll look at the hazard types here. In that enhanced risk region, there is a 10% tornado threat, including a chance for some significant tornadoes, as the hordeographs and soundings have been showing for a while that we've had the potential for some tornadoes, potentially even significant ones. I think I saw a sounding from another weather YouTuber last night that indicated such. Wind is also a big threat with this as well. There's a lot of energy in the low-level jet. And also there's a pretty considerable hail threat, and very widespread at that. All the way through the slight and enhanced risk regions, pretty much from Dallas all the way to Jackson, Tennessee, and areas in between could be seeing an increased threat for hail. And very large hail possibly. There could even be a enhanced risk issued for the hail threat in particular. We'll have to see how things progress throughout the day, but the lapse rates have definitely leaned a little bit more into that. But that's what we have for day one. We're mainly going to be talking about that, but I will give you a preview of day two. And just to let you know, we have an enhanced risk for that too. I think the main threat with this is going to be wind, especially for those areas a little bit further to the north, like let's say the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley. But there is a tornado threat with this as well. It's mainly going to be more so to the south in a corridor that I've been kind of calling out for a bit now. I've been saying that this region across south central Alabama and Mississippi, we're going to be in line for maybe a few tornadoes to develop. So this doesn't surprise me one bit. Wind threat expands a little bit further off to the east here, and the hail threat is of course confined towards where that tornado threat is going to be stronger, where those lapse rates are going to be a little bit more robust. That being said, we know our warm sector situation for the most part. The main reason I think they started to finally go up to the enhanced risk now is the noticed increase in CAPE. We'll take a quick look at that, but right now we're just taking a sneak peek at our warm sector as we head into the overnight hours, because I think that's still when our severe weather threat will really start to pick up here. I'm mainly thinking about maybe between 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time into the overnight hours is when we're going to have our window open up for severe weather. We know that our dew points are very rich across this region here. So the next thing to look at here will be the CAPE values. We're going to look at the mixed layer, of course. So one other thing to note here is we do have a capping inversion in place. And depending on how that cap strengthens or weakens, and honestly we're trending towards weakening again, a weakening cap. You can see it already by 21Z here. Pretty rich CAPE values already. And it's only going to become a little bit stronger as we see this on the rise here. We can see little pockets here where we're getting up to about 2,000, maybe even 2,000 joules per kilogram. Oh, that's my alarm. Sorry about that. That was my alarm. But as I was saying here, much greater increase of cap and a much more of CAPE and a much more broad area of pretty sufficient CAPE is expected now across this region here. And as a result, this increases the severe threat as we head into the evening and overnight hours. And even as we head into the following day, CAPE's pretty impressive towards, I'd say, southern Alabama and southern Mississippi. Hence why that tornado threat is going to be higher there. But even across these areas here, we're getting up to about 500 to 700 joules per kilogram heading into Thursday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that too. And I'll probably do an update video in the morning for that one as well, since we are up to an enhanced risk now. That being said, the main question now becomes, should the cap break, what kind of storm mode will we see? All right, so here we are at the composite reflectivity. I changed the view so that way we will be looking at our area of interest throughout the day today. So as we all know already, activity is really not expected to begin till late in the day. So this is about 3 p.m. I'd say, about 2 or 3 p.m. across this region here. Start to see a little bit of activity begin to develop as convection starts to intensify. And as time goes on, we start to see a little quadrant where we have little lines of thunderstorms, a few of them discrete, and that's where and from there things really start to take off. By 06Z, we're looking at the potential for probably a handful of embedded supercells, along with the potential of the squall line beginning to form along the front and the dry line. Over here, we have a little bit of a mess here, but there is some semi-discrete cells here possible too. And then, of course, as we watch this move off, the threat will probably be over by, I'd say, about 7 a.m. for a lot of these regions. This is the squall line that's going to be associated with the front. So a lot of these areas will have their weather clearing out probably by no later than noon from the looks of this model right here. Of course, this is very much prone to changing, and we'll have to see how conditions unfold here. Take a look at one quick sounding before we get out of here, because I got to get ready for work. But this little corridor here across Tennessee is where that enhanced risk is. So mainly looking at a marginal tornado threat, but ridiculous helicities here. So one thing to note with these helicities, we are looking at 574 meters squared per second squared, but it's also kind of high up too. So it's going to be tricky to see how as to how this storm evolves, which will determine how high the tornado threat is. But it's just one of many variables that we've been looking at through the course of the week, and that's why that video last night was like 36 minutes long. Apologize for that again. That wasn't the easiest video to make either. That being said, this video is done here. I hope you guys found this one useful as well. If you did, of course, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. A large portion of you still aren't subscribed despite watching my videos, so I don't know what you're doing, or I don't know what I need to do. Just let me know what I need to do in the comments. Try to see if I can reel you in. That being said, I got to get going. This has been Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. I'll see you guys this afternoon. I might, maybe, but probably not. We will try to live stream, possibly. I don't know, depending on the time. But until then, take care.